They're the fruit of monumental work by men and women in partnership with Mother Nature. They're the most beautiful gardens in France. In Haute-Corse, on the island of Corsica, the Parc of Saleccia is a concentrate of the Mediterranean, a floral paradise beside the sea, which has belonged to Bruno de Moustier's family since 1951. This horticultural engineer created it from scratch.
I'm making a watering basin. I pat down the earth around the mound.
Still today, at 85 years old, he gardens every day.
It's a magical corner of paradise, which has remained untouched, thanks to us in a way. Because there were some very big development plans. 180 villas were going to be built on this land, along with a shopping centre down by the beach and a vast car park.
By having the land listed as arable in the 1960s, the family saved it from the property developers who were threatening the age-old olive groves. But in 1974, flames destroyed everything when a terrible wildfire swept through Haute-Corse.
15 000 hectares, peut-être plus, de forêts et de maquis et de garrigues totalement ravagées.
Traces subsist, like these burnt olive tree stumps.
The fire burned nearly every tree. Out of 1,200 olive trees, only 20 are left. When you see trees go like that, you know it's irreparable. We'll never see them again. Even several generations down the line will never see them.
For 25 years, Bruno has weeded, grafted, and replanted. And from the chaos has sprung beauty. 7 hectares of plants, Mediterranean trees, and dazzling flowers. A Garden of Eden now in the safe hands of Bruno's daughter Isabelle.
I came here a lot as a child with my family. We had a lot of family parties here in Saleccia. And then since 1996, I've been working in the park on its development and layout. So, yes, I'm very fond of it.
Much further north, in mainland France, the garden might be Italian, but the chateau is Breton. Not far from Mont-Saint-Michel, the gardens of the Château de La Ballue are listed as historical monuments. Marie-Françoise Mathieu is the lucky owner of the estate. Every morning, she takes in the view of this Tuscan landscape from the windows of her chateau.
I never get tired of it, and sometimes I think it's weird, but it isn't. It's like people who live by the sea, only this isn't the sea, but the countryside. Depending on the season, the light of the day, and of course the weather, the view is never the same.
A genuine work of art, whose artist handles pruning shears like Edward Scissorhands. Jean-Paul Huquet is the head gardener of the estate, which requires daily love and attention.
All this is a part of a tableau in the middle of the lawns. So it would be a shame if the trees and bushes grew into weird shapes and weren't kept in check like we keep them.
The garden has changed down the centuries, but has always upheld the rules of topiary, the art of sculpting plants, a mixture of aesthetics and geometry.
We have cubes, we have spirals. All of it is measured and worked with a spirit level. When we prune vertically or horizontally, we always use a level. We also have little tricks, like this stick of bamboo that we use to center on. Then we have to take a step back to see how it looks, because it takes a human eye to correct things.
Every year, 7,000 visitors come to stroll along the estate's beautiful pathways. On the French Riviera, at the point of Cap d'Antibes, stands the Villa Eilenroc, a luxurious late 19th century residence designed by the architect of the Paris Opera, Charles Garnier, but especially famous for its rose garden, with varieties named after film stars.
This variety is called Princesse de Monaco, Grace Kelly. It's elegant, beautiful, and refined. Next to Princesse de Monaco is Philippe Noiret. He was a very strong actor. The moment he came on screen, he had a very strong presence, just like this rosebed.
These gardens made the Villa Eilenroc famous, with its olive grove and marvelous view across Billionaire's Bay, and the 11-hectare estate can be visited for free. But that wasn't always the case.
In the late 19th century, the grounds were opened up for paid visits, and the proceeds went to charities such as La Goutte de Lait, which taught young mothers the best ways to feed their babies. That was very rare back then. Nobody opened their grounds to the public.
It's hard to imagine that this land was once just a pile of rubble. It was a wealthy Dutch businessman who had the villa built in 1860 for his wife Cornelie, of which Eilenroc is an anagram.
But fate was against him because his wife didn't like the place, so she upped and left him. And mad with grief, he hurriedly sold the estate for 1/10 of its real value.
In the 1930s, the house and gardens hosted grand receptions attended by high society. Then, in 1982, the owner donated Eilenroc to the city of Antibes on one condition: that the rose garden remained open to the public and lovers of the most beautiful gardens in France.